think that using her would get to me. And if you're right, then you're in trouble, D. 'Cause I won't break, no, I know I won't wait. You're in trouble, D.
Welcome back, guys. Christmas charity magic here from D2CL. I'm Durkit in the JD Studios, and we're supposed to have fun game modes, but we've got captain's mode. And to be honest, it should still be fun. It's new patch, new heroes, new picks, and 2 CIS teams. What more could you ask for from Santa Claus himself than unadulterated action, aggression? And last game, you know, it was no different. It was just 2 teams battling out with each other non-stop, kills on every lane at every juncture. And my co-caster Heen, I mean, I'm glad you're here. You're just like bottom lane, top lane, mid lane, just kills everywhere.
Yeah, it was really hard to keep track in the early game where I was trying to, analyze the game and stuff just kept happening, as you said, 2 CIS teams known for their aggression. And on top of that, they got the captain's draft mode, which kind of forced them into non-conventional picks. And I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen this game, seeing as how this game's captain's mode and Hellraisers might have kind of blamed the loss on it being a different mode where they were forced to pick certain heroes like Leshrac, which was the only mid hero that was left in the last pick. And we already see that they picked the Wisp and Tiny for themselves, so this time the Wisp is on Hellraisers.
10 seconds remaining.
And obviously Wisp Tiny, very aggressive combo.
5 seconds
and
remaining.
I'd like to see Hellraisers be on the aggressive this time.
Radiant team
Because last game they did have an aggressive draft, but their tools and timings were a bit late, which forced them to always be the ones receiving the beating. And ProDota eventually got that advantage on them and ran over them. The last fight was sort of anticlimactic, but inevitable, I suppose.
Yeah, at the end it was just like, well, this is over. The BKBs and blinks from Hellraisers were a little bit delayed, like you said. But this time, game number 2, right off game number 1 and say, okay, go to the fallback plan. Wisp Tiny, something we've played a hell of a lot in the past, something that still works. ProDota, they've got the Dazzle Venge though, interesting opener. I mean, we've seen a lot of Venge recently. Dazzle's still a potent pick over the past couple of patches. Batrider ban is the one thing that's kind of interesting for me. I get the Broodmother ban, I get the Spirit Breaker ban, very good at sort of tracking down the Wisp and focusing him down in fights. Night Stalker, a good hero for both CIS teams. Shadowfiend Tusk, still sort of remnants of the old meta. But why do you think they've banned Batrider here?
Well, has always been a very strong combo since the old days. Alliance used to love Wisp and Batrider together. Batrider being such a good initiator, and he pulls him back so that it's hard for the other side to react to it. So you can get a nice relocate and just overall really good map control. But one thing I'd like to note is that I think ProDota is planning to use Avenge as a carry. Which suggests that they don't want to have the Venge, use the swap defensively for Batrider every time, because that might put the carry Venge in an awkward spot. And the Batrider did get a buff. He has a +2 base regen, so maybe they don't want to deal with the new Batrider, which might be quite a bit harder to zone out.
And I guess with Ether Lens now the added item, you can kind of go Tranquils. Tranquils blink Ether Lens, Tranquils blink Force Ether Lens or something, increase the range on your lasso, and that really does ramp up his initiation tools. But Nature's Prophet for Hellraisers, more global power. Invoker hasn't been touched, and Invoker has been a really highly contested hero over the past couple of days. The fact that he has Invoke level 1, you get the level 1 Sunstrike, level 2 Alacrity, level 3 Alacrity plus Cold Snap, plus, Ice Wall or Tornado, whatever you want. Ridiculous combos at level 3 already. Why did neither of these teams actually pick him up? Maybe it's just the fact that no one has an Invoker player.
Well, to be honest, I don't really know too much about these teams, but Invoker does have, for the Hellraiser side, they picked the Wisp Tiny, which means if they pick an Invoker, I think ideally Invoker wants to go mid, but they want to have the option of having the Wisp Tiny mid, So Invoker wouldn't be the most ideal pick here. And for Pro Dota, Vengeful I don't think is, as a carry at least, isn't paired the best with Invoker. Because
Dire
Invoker wants
team
to
pick.
kind of walk around the map, assuming it's Wex Invoker, he's going to Ghost Walk. Whereas Vengeful kind of has that really nice aura and the Terror and the Vengeance aura timing where if they group up, they can take down easy towers. And we see the Viper already, so the mech timing on Viper is going to complement Vengeful's timing when Vengeful is like level 11, say, with maxed out aura or the
10
Terror.
seconds remaining.
What are we looking for last?
5 seconds remaining.
Beastmaster off, Viper mid. And Viper does decently against the Tiny Wisp, I
Reserve
guess, if they
time.
throw that there. It's still going to be an annoying lane, but you can sort of tank through the damage. You still think Venge is in that safe lane one spot?
Well, we'll have to see. Because I don't think they would have picked the Venge as a support if they saw the Wisp Tiny. You usually think of heroes like Witch Doctor or a Disruptor, AA, these kind of like, what does a Venge do against a Wisp Tiny, though? So I'm assuming it's a Venge carry, especially considering recent matches where Venge has, I think, the most in Dota history been used as a carry, the percentage-wise at least. And the Vengeance aura might be really nice against Tiny because it's percentage-based, and if she has to die first in a team fight, that might reduce the Tiny's damage output by quite a bit.
Looks like you're
Yeah,
right.
so I think, yeah, it
Radiant
is the
team
Venge
pick.
carry.
Oh, PL, the final pick from Hellraisers. And if you go for the Boots of Travel build, even more global potential. I'm looking at this and... No, Hellraisers, they've got a lot of ways to jump themselves around the map. But against PD... Once ProDota hit like that, 10 to 15 minute timer, where they've got level 6 on Viper, let's just say they have level 6 on all their heroes, right?
Yeah.
Do Hellraisers have the damage needed and the sustain needed to actually battle in 5v5 situations? It feels like they've got a split push for the first half an hour.
I tend to agree. I can see why they picked PL. They noticed that none of
Prepare for
Hellraiser's heroes, ProDota's heroes are that good against PL. But at the same time, it's quite greedy. Are they trying to do a level 1 Roche? They are.
Looks like it. Holy crap, okay. Well, Beastmaster, Inner Beast, Vengeful Spirit, Vengeance Aura, Dazzle with the heal, Viper with that poison attack, and yeah, they're going to chunk down Roshan. They've got salves, they've got healing, they've got regen. I mean, Vanscore's Undying. Undying doesn't do too much, but he's got a stout shield and 600 health. Good amount of damage. I'm just going to salve up and tank through it.
If they're going to do level 1 Roche, they might as well get the Tombstone, I think. It tanks the Roche hits. And the Vengeful went for the Vengeance Aura instead of Terror. I think Terror does slightly more DPS. I'm not sure, though. I don't really think that matters too much here.
Oh, the Treant. The Treant's going to scout it.
They're going to scout it.
Roshan is on 1,000 health. They're going to run themselves in now, and
yeah, they're still going to get it.
ProDota, they're going to get the Roshan. The clap comes through. They're going to kill it. They're going to kill it faster. The cask is in here. Who takes it? Aegis is picked up by the Phantom Lancer. Oh my god, and this is tragic for PD. They'll heal themselves up, still fight through. Onto the Witch Doctor now, looking for Avon Ninja. The damage is still here. Vanscore, he's got so much strength. Another decay up is here, as well as YW. Ivan's PL trying to get another counter kill back onto the Dazzle. But Phantom Lancer's dead before he can do too much. Dazzle's trapped. Dazzle's trapped behind a Treant, apparently. In the Roche pit. There's no stun. Shadowslow not going to die as he TPs himself away. Okay.
CIS Dota?
I mean, PD come out on top, right? I want to take a look at levels first. Oh, Radiant have a level 3 Witch Doctor. What the? What is level 3 Witch Doctor before 1 minute? Vanscore's dead at middle lane. He'll get punched down and stunned. Please heed.
Did you see who got the last hit on Roche? That's also really important at this stage of the game. It's free 1k gold for everyone. Oh, you over at bottom? Maybe Beastmaster's dead?
Oh, Tron.
Nope.
Gets into the trees. No, I didn't see it. I was very focused on who got the Aegis, but the fact that Hellraisers have... Oh god, look at that. Basically a 2,000 net worth lead. I'm assuming it was them as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's just a really tough spot to be Roshing and when the Treant came into the Roche pit, I'm sure ProDota, the only thing that was going through their mind was, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yep.
I hope
Dire's bottom
Hellraisers
tower
are like
is under attack.
camped on the ancients, the Radiant Ancients are far away or something.
No, Hellraisers, they were ready to strike, and in they went. So Beastmaster, he's got Inner Beast. He's not even level 2 yet, and that's a big deal. There's no boars, there's no axes. Level 4 Phantom Lancer can zone him out of lane. Let's go back to levels actually. So yeah, level 1 Beastmasters, level 4 PL, level 3 Watch Doctor. Hellraisers have such an advantage here. Net worth and experience 2k lead before the 2-minute mark, just because of that Roshan takedown, and the Aegis, and the fight. I mean, PD got a lot of money from the fight, sure enough, but levels mean a hell of a lot as well as the bounty rune goes to Wisp. Vanscore is going to get stunned up here with the avalanche and the toss. Vanscore thrown back into his own death, it looks like. Even with the decay up, they should be able to right-click him down. Yeah, decay stack wears off, and the soul rip not in time to heal him up.
So, at the beginning of the draft, or at the beginning of the game, I was going to talk about how these two lineups match up against each other, but
It's irrelevant.
ProDota decided to go level 1 Roche and kind of like ruin my commentary. Well, okay, so they have the Wisp Tiny and the PL, but going into the mid game, we talked about how ProDota's lineup is going to be really scary coming out of the laning stage when the Viper has the mech and high levels of the Venge. But so I was worried that the Tiny is going to be the only one that can make plays, given how weak Furion and the PL are for the large majority of the early game. But with that Roche exchange, I'm not sure if they HR have to be on the back foot so much.
Well, I just got the Beastmaster down at bot with enough damage. They threw the stun lance. Tron tried to TP away, but Ivan was there with the damage output from the Phantom Lancer. A couple of clicks, a couple of little thwacks from his lance, and down he goes. So Sunlight on the Viper mid. He's last hitting well. He's, you know, winning his lane, as he should. No surprises there. It's not unexpected for the Viper just to get last hits and force the Tiny Wisp, you know, to play a little more passively. With the Undying there, it means that the aggressive options are kind of limited, unless Afanit tosses the creep. Not going to get in there with the toss of the Viper back to the tier 1.
Well, the Undying sitting at mid kind of makes it so that the Wisp Tiny can't. The two strength heroes against the Undying. So that's good by ProDota that they don't want to sack the Viper. No team wants to play a Viper that's going to get owned early game. And you see this Tiny, he's like very shy. He's using spells to harass and not able to get that free CS that he'd like.
How often do you see a 3,000 net worth Phantom Lancer at 4 minutes? This guy is so rich. Oh, they've seen Tron as well. He's got no TP. He was just trying to hide in the trees and keep himself safe. Get some experience. The Dazzle, he's going to give away his life as well. The multi-TP is coming through. Beastmaster's gone. Dazzle's going to drop straight after us. Oh, this Ivan Phantom Lancer. He's tagging up the tower. They've got no sustain back onto the PL until Undershot comes in. Voodoo Restoration will give them that. Tiny dies mid. He's spam pinging like, guys, he's diving tier 1 bottom lane, but I've just died mid to the Viper now. Metrum. The Dazzle, the TP's coming in again. Beastmaster has respawned. He cancels his TP. He's like, fuck that, I'm not going bot lane again. Stun out, Lance as well, and Chancellor will be able to turn this with his Treants into a tier 1 tower takedown. Hellraisers. Whew. Viper gets the kill on Tiny. You're like, yeah, whatever, man. That's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Hellraisers are just running, like, it's not running away with this game anymore. It's like this game is close to over unless they make some massive cock-ups, and it's 5 minutes in.
Yeah, that's really hard to deal with the way the level 1 Roche went really sour for ProDota, and we haven't seen a lot of Fury in a recent play, but this was one of the most common ways to use Fury in early game. Make an aggressive move on the opponent's offline tower, and have the Fury and TP in, and you have the Treants, and there's not much the receiving end can do about it. As we saw, ProDota rotated a respectable number of heroes, but your tower's already been surrounded with so many units. It's hard to, you just kind of have to accept the fact that, you know, it's this early into the game, there's not much you can do.
Look at where the Phantom Lancer is right now. He'll tank up the tower a bit, doppelganger away. Vanscore still hunting this PL down, but with the Fairy Fire, he actually turns to try and battle up against the Undying. He'll get some clicks in, but General...
What's he doing?
I keep calling him General for some reason. The Wisp's behind him. That's Ivan. I'm going to get into my head, it's Ivan. For some reason, my brain keeps thinking General, but... I don't know. This PL was sat behind the bot tier 2 for a good 30-40 seconds, so there's nothing anyone can do to stop him.
So PL opted to go for the drums. I'm okay with that decision, I think. I think they realized how far they started the game with, and he gets some nice HP, nice stats, and contrary to what we predicted in the draft, this PL can maybe play aggressive with all these levels and items advantages he has.
Well. Let's see what he does with it then. Undershock. A level 5 Witch Doctor. Honestly, I'm just amazed that you've got a phase boots Nature's Prophet with level 6 from that off lane. He'll find the Dazzle. He's trying to deward. He'll get the obs. Rave himself up and try and run away. Undershock, you're in a little bit of a sticky situation here actually. Vanscore drops the level 1 tombstone.
Oh, no stun.
Dazzle TP's away. Yeah, there's no level 6 on the Beastmaster. He's still sitting at level 4.
So I'm really worried for this Beastmaster. He had to skill Inner Beast and lane against the Witch Doctor PL, which is already a hard lane. Especially like really easy for the Radiant side if they obviously knew that the Beastmaster had an aura at level 1. And now that his tower's gone, how is he planning to get level 6? Because this early on he can't really go jungle. You can already see him kind of like sitting in front of the tier 2s, probably telling his team, yo guys, I can't get EXP. Does someone want to swap lanes with me?
Yeah, for those of you joining in now, wondering why Roshan is not in the pit. Basically, ProDota went for a level 1 Rosh strat. They got Rosh down to 1,000 health. Basically, they had it in the bag. They had Roshan done. It was fine. At the last second, at the midnight hour, a Treant walks into the pit, and Hellraisers, they were prepped. They were ready to just walk in there. They took the kill on Rosh, they took the Aegis on PL. The fight, you know, ProDota kind of won the fight. They got more kills, and it looked good for them. But just the economic damage done, the trade-offs that HR got, it's really set this game in their favor. You know, you look at the Phantom Lancer, 5k net worth. The Viper has done a great job at mid actually to keep pace with the PL. 4,100. Mech is going to be up in a couple of minutes' time. But it's the fact that Nature's Prophet, the off-lane Furion, is level 7. And the Vengeful Spirit 1 roll here from the Dire is level 7.5 with Treads plus Aquila and the makings of a Bracer. You know, you're going for the stats build, but you can't play aggressively. Tron is resorting to farming the large camp. That's how bad things are for them.
Yeah, this is going to be a really easy game for PL, and I think the only way ProDota could have like had this game under control was if they got the stable early game start, and that kind of makes me wonder if they even tried that Rosh, because when they saw the last pick PL, they were like, how are we going to deal with this PL with this lineup? And they got kind of nervous and decided without some kind of crazy early game edge, this game was going to be next to impossible. Because usually when you see a Wisp Tiny, you expect HR to, relocate top.
Oh yeah, Vanscore's gone. Tombstone is dropped, but out they go. Shasho TPing away. The TPs are coming in thick and fast. They've got Godam on lockdown. The stuns are coming through, and then the axes as Alpha Ninja is left to his own devices under the tier 2. So ProDota react very well to that first relocate coming in. TPing everybody in to try and defend. And Sunlight will be able to finish his mech in a little while here. It's just gonna be like an 11-minute mech, 11.5 minutes on that mech. Tron gets closer to level 6. That is a big win. Experience and gold, you know, a good 1,000 exchange there for PD. And all they lost was the Vanscore Undying.
Yeah, when you're this far behind, there's no such thing as overreaction. You just have to better safe than sorry. Like that could have, if they didn't rotate like the Viper or something, they could have let the Wisman Tiny go.
Oh.
Very nice play.
Death Ward is down though with the Avalanche toss. Sunlight's dropping very low. Undershot came in from behind. And we'll get the kill on the Viper. Sprouts up onto Vanscore. He can drop the tombstone, but he heals himself up enough with a Soul Rip that he might not need it until the final toss comes through from Alpha Ninja's Tiny. And all they grabbed back on that bottom lane, almost down the drain. As Viper is shoved a little bit further away from the mech. Undying dead again means no level 6, no level 3 tombstone. And it gives the Tiny a big chunk of cash to get his drums.
It's really hard to find your place as an Undying when your team's behind, and Undying, who's supposed to be going around annoying people with his strong early game, has to die. Like he's on the chase, and it looks like ProDota is going to make a really aggressive smoke rotation, seeing as how they grouped up as 5 people. Or it's a Roche, maybe. Yeah. Please don't make the same mistake twice, ProDota.
Dun 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 dun.
But I mean, this time they are much stronger at Roche. So we can, like, the Roche is going down way much faster than they were doing at level 1. So I think they got it secured, and they're going to give the Aegis to Viper or Venge.
Venge, maybe? Oh, Viper? Viper takes it. He still doesn't have his mech yet. 250 gold until he's got that one sorted out. And look at what HR are doing. Undershock, okay. You're alone on this bottom lane. The cask is good, and you might be able to TP. Oh, he doesn't. It's on cooldown, but there's still this juke spot that a lot of people forget about. They're going to expect him to go towards the west, but they've got the Wave of Terror. Jackal will scout. They've baited all of that rotation from the Roche pit down to bottom lane as they're taking tier 2 up at top, though. Tiny with this tether.
Hellraisers don't care. Ever since the Roche the Slain message shown up, they didn't really budge. They kept going top. They're like, okay, do you want to trade a tier 1 for a tier 3 now, actually?
They were just pinging. Viper doesn't have a TP. Yeah, he does now. But it's going to be very, very slow. In come the TPs as Alpha Ninja's already cleared out the creep wave. Sunlight is looking for it. Tron has the roar, throws out the Tiny. And Alpha Ninja's caught here with the Viper Strike ready. They don't even need it. They could have thrown it.
So close. Venge might have been able to swap the Tiny if she was a little bit faster.
Now the big question is, goddamn, are you going to give your life up for this? It looks like you're just going to go back in, sacrifice for your Tiny.
But that's a very happy Wisp, like the happy to die for that kind of exchange. They brought back all ProDota to their base, and considering how much better late game Hellraisers has, the Wisp would gladly take that exchange and die for the team.
Especially when PD have the Aegis and they kind of want to be pressing, right? They want to be pushing into tier 1s because they haven't taken a single one yet. Being forced to like dive Witch Doctor and then TP top. That's a good 2 minutes or so. Actually, let's have a look. That's 2 minutes of Aegis time wasted, really, of defending.
Middle tower is under attack.
So they've had it enough of playing chase, and they're gonna go for the mid tower, and we can finally see they're actually quite strong when they're as 4 or 5. This mid tower is going down really fast. But again, HR having that Furion is also pretty good at taking down towers.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And I think they're going to try to do the same play, make ProDota come back to the base by pressuring these tier 3s.
Look at where Tiny is, man. Tiny's mid, invis. They know there's vision there. He's going to avalanche toss onto the Dazzlers. Ooh, he's going to heal himself up. Doesn't need the grave. Meanwhile, back down towards bottom lane. The Phantom Lance. Oh, he's dead. Trying to run away from the Viper. That was ballsy from Hellraisers. So the defense is there again from PD. The trade-off was tier 2 for tier 1, Hellraisers. They also lose the Phantom Lancer. But they're wasting this Aegis timer. I think PD...
Hey, to be honest, the Aegis timer isn't the biggest deal. I mean, it's like we talked about with the Tidehunter last game. It's sort of an insurance policy. You don't have to actually die and revive from the Aegis to benefit from it. The fact that Viper has the Aegis means HR is discouraged from taking bold fights.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm wondering how, like, this Furion, he went for the Orchids build. Bench?
Interesting swap. He's silenced up now, and in the Sprout. Jackal, what have you done to yourself? Trapped in place, and YOLO Warrior. Ivan on this bloody Phantom Lance comes straight on into the avalanche onto the 2. The toss going to catch onto the creep, but the grave comes onto Tron. Metrum gives up his own life, and Hellraisers, they're on high ground.
Oh, the Wisp.
Goddamn, he got the urn. He tethered to the Phantom Lance illusion. They'll clear the tombstone easily, and Viper's in the middle of 4 heroes here. Mechs himself up and heals him. The Aegis is available, so the second life will come through. but I don't know what they're going to gain from it. Godam's on the front line, zoning people out. The Vengeance brought back to get into this fight, but Sunlight got no health left. Down to half HP here as he's chunked away by this Ivan PL, and Jackal's buyback may just be useless as Alpha Ninja Avalanche toss combination through him, and Sunlight's Viper not going to have a better fate, I don't feel, as he runs back to the fountain. Dazzle does respawn up. Brave on cooldown. No racks taken here by Hellraisers as they TP themselves away with a safe play. Go back to farming, but the damage is done already. Buybacks expended by Undying and Venge, and PD lose a tier 3 on top of it all.
Yeah, this early into the game, having to play with tier 3 down against a global lineup is going to be super hard for ProDota. It's basically like HR have to mess up for ProDota to get back into this game. I was talking about the Fury, and he went for Orchids, which is kind of a... I wouldn't have expected it, because usually if you have an Orchid, you assume that the Fury is going to go around ganking people. But with the game, with the way the game has been unfolding, it looks like they plan to fight. Like, the Furion is being part of their push. He hasn't been split pushing so much. But because the Orchid came so early, I think it's still very useful. No one on ProDota are going to have is going to have like some kind of like Manta or BKB to get out of the silence. So we saw the Vengeful aggressively swap the Witch Doctor, immediately get Orchided, and the Vengeful must have been thinking, oh wow, Orchid.
I cannot believe that you can cliff jungle 2 camps on Radiant side.
Middle tower is under
Oh,
attack.
relocate to top.
Are they gonna try to ride?
Looks like it. They've got bot lane pushing in. Oh, the damage isn't there. The Avalanche, nope, blink away. Tombstone's dropped. The zombies chasing, but Godam should be able to tether up and bring Alpha Ninja back if he
And
really
meanwhile,
wants
they got
to.
the tier 3 bottom.
Oh, you're right. The Phantom Lance are just pushing away, and they're looking for racks as well. The range racks is dropping.
They got mid tier 2 as well. They're getting all the towers.
Oh, Viper, you're alone here. Avalanche tossed through from Alpha Ninja with a Death Ward there as well. Undershock is dropping low with a roar. They cancel it out, and Sunlight will get damage done. But they've got to swap, cancel out the TP, and there's no relocate since they used it aggressively up on that top lane. But take a look back down to bottom lane. Phantom Bloody Lancer. Range rack's gone. Melee rack's down to a third of its health, but these Treants chopping away at it as well. ProDota, they're just being pulled from pillar to post, top to mid to bot to mid to top to everywhere they can possibly think of.
Yeah, these deaths on Hellraisers don't mean anything. The objectives that they were able to get during that short period of chaotic relocates and Rat Dota was more than enough. They got a tier 3 bottom, range racks, and a mid tier 2, and wasted a lot of time at mid. ProDota don't have many options at this point. I'm really... they're gonna probably do some very bold play and kind of accept the fact that they don't have anything against this PL.
Phantom Lancer. Manta, Boots of Travel. No Diffusal Blade. It's kind of interesting. I guess you can kind of not dodge Raw, but you know, you create illusions and sort of mess up the animation of Raw and get yourself away. You dodge Viper Strike, dodge Projectile Stun. It's just about creating more illusions though, mainly.
ProDota, 5-man smoke, or 4-man smoke, but nonetheless, they want to put a stop to this.
There's a blink on Furion though. And he blinks away. Back to safety. They know that Undershock is hiding here. Tombstone into Raw, into Raw, into Raw!
Oh, he didn't, it was too late. The cast time and things, he wasn't gonna get it off, I think.
Undershock, you ballsy devil. TP's away. Hang on!
They got the range racks again.
What?
On top.
Is that just Treants and Necro units?
The Treants are so strong now. Oh, 32 damage.
I guess there's no Necro book on the Radiant. It's just the Beastmaster that has one.
So HR, I mean, ProDota have to be okay bottom. I thought, yeah, relocate onto Viper.
And Furion TP.
Yeah.
And the PL's here. I mean, Viper's there thinking, okay, what's the worst that can happen? PL is here, but then all of a sudden there's 3 heroes that come from across the map to kill you. It's so difficult to handle. You can't split push as PD, you can't regain control of the map, and now you're going to lose your melee racks down the bottom lane, it looks like. There's a glyph available. Vanscore kind of has to drop the Tombstone as soon as it's up here in 2 seconds time to clear out creeps and deter the rest of Hellraisers. I guess They've done it decently, with the minus arm away from Jackal, the heal out from Dazzle. And that's something that we haven't really touched on. You know, we saw it from the beginning with the Roshan attempt and the Roshan takedown. The fact that they do have a lot of synergy between their heroes. There's minus armor, there's tons of it, there's physical damage, there's tons of that, honestly. And there's auras. There's lots and lots of auras, but auras don't save you when Tiny jumps in and takes half of the health of your one roll carry down with one combo. Swap back, goddamn blink, so why? Hello? Hello?
I mean, you can already tell how confident HR in this game. Like, okay, Wisp might die here.
Doesn't
Maybe
matter.
not.
Look at bottom lane.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Like, I'm not even going to watch the Wisp dying, because that's just a throwaway hero. Bottom lane, the Melirax is being taken out, slowly but surely, down to 400 health. Top lane, Undershock is pushing in. The Tiny, though, that is an important kill. Nature's Prophet's going to cancel his TP. He forced... Okay. Force staff TP.
Dire's bottom barracks
He has a force staff of his own. We've seen this from offlane Tinies, right? With the Blink, Force, Shadow Blade. But
Yeah,
from a...
he realizes that like Tiny is not that important in this game. Like he has a PL. He just wants to have flexibility in his place. I mean, they're already 2 range racks up. They don't need the Ags to close this game. And from ProDota, I think this is really a depressing situation. The heroes they have, they don't want to be defending inside their base. They haven't been able to leave their tier 2 border, I guess, like their side of the map for a very long time. Like, why this? The Viper must be thinking, I got this mech, but for what? I'm getting ratted. And like, it's not like we're defending effectively. We've been losing towers and we've been losing HP on our structures.
Time to buy Maelstrom on the Viper. Honestly, I think that's
if ProDota are serious about like making a comeback in this game, they have to kind of make adjustments in their item choices.
With the Diffusal Blade on the Phantom Lancer, I think it's a little bit too late. The Roar onto Delusion, they'll try and focus it down, but Ivan, the real one, is still up. They kill Vengeful Spirit over at the back, and these illusions, oh my god, look at them. Chasing down onto Tron. The Death Ward has Aghanim's upgrade now. Forces PD back.
Go for the racks.
You're actually right. They go for Melirax up at top. Nature's Prophet, where the...
Backdoor protection.
Oh, creeps are coming in now. Glyph. Going to be there to try and save these racks. And HR, they kind of showed their hand early there. Nature's Prophet dying very quickly on bottom lane. Not grouping up with the rest of the team. So that was some misplay from Hellraisers. Sure, they get the initial pick. They get the entry kill. But they don't consolidate that into an actual objective takedown.
I mean, but obviously, they're not really too worried about what, like, these miscommunications. They're very confident. They still feel like they have ProDota cornered. So, as I was saying, I think for ProDota to have a remote chance to come back into this game, like, they have to start getting like Mjolnirs and stuff on the Viper and the Avenge. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it seems no matter what items they get, it's gonna be super hard.
The third Roshan. 25 minutes in, Roshan number 3, here we go. So Aegis Cheese. Ivan has slots for both if he wants to. Aghanim Scepter's nearly up for Alpha Ninja's Tiny, so... It's really weird. It feels like this game is like 40 minutes in, right? Because the PL and Tiny have such items. Maybe like 35 or something, 35 minutes in. But it's 25.
Maybe they get payback for what happened to them.
Well, they've got the Hawk. Jackal can try to swap. There's the Roar, but Jackal's up on the high ground. They're not going to be able to get it. The toss is there. Onto Tron. Blink forward. Beastmaster against the Aegis with the Death Ward from the high ground. Undershock. Look at it go. Sunlight and Jackal being shredded as Tron blinks back into the pit, but they lost the Tiny Wisp. In the meantime, Ivan TP's away. Undershock still here, trying to wait things out. Cheese on the Viper. Beastmaster, he did lose the Aegis, and they don't get anything else out of it. So that is some good payback.
That is some very good payback.
Retribution.
Yeah, they stole the Roche last set as well. But even so, this game is still not easy for ProDota. I was actually kind of surprised that Ven just decided to swap a pill. Why? But I mean, like, in the end, they got the Roche. Maybe a bit sloppy from HR, seeing as their lineup is really bad at Roche.
They were trying to go for... See, if you go for something like that, you kind of have to really ensure that top lane is pushed in. Because all of this back and forth that HR have been doing, you know, the pick off into push. Yeah, they found nobody. They found absolutely nothing. But this whole pick off into push thing they've been trying to do, they've chipped away at these melee racks, but because of the regen on these racks, the damage isn't sustained. It's just healing itself back up. So PD, they're regenerating, they're holding. They're not bleeding out. You know, as we usually see when people take early racks, the enemy team bleeds out and they get crippled economically, map control wise. And sure, PD are having difficulties pushing out and getting across the map, but it's not the same as being a melee racks down.
No, for sure. Like these range racks are much less game impacting than the melee. I mean the range racks. Oh, nice swap.
Shashlo's just dead. Is this comeback time?
Oh, very nice play from Vengeful. Remembering that the Furion has that Blink Dagger, so he terrored before the swap. Over at bottom though, Viper pops that cheese.
The Diffusal Blade though, look at that slow, the damage. The Grave is available for Metrum, so I don't think Ivan really wants to get in there.
Dire's middle
Those
tower
heroes behind
is
him.
under attack.
But then you look at the other way, really look up the top, Vanscore. He...
What?
Huh. Okay. That was interesting. Who was he with? He was with the Tiny, right?
I assume so. If they want to kill the Undying, they'll probably go with the Wisp and Tiny. Maybe the Witch Doctor, because Witch Doctor is so strong right now. Oh, did you see this? The Witch Doctor walked in with the smoke and he's TPing. With the ward in front of the fountain.
Cheeky little bastard. What's he up to? But yeah. This Death Ward. We've seen it do some good work. It's just Hellraisers. They're chipping away, but never getting that big lead that they need. And ProDota, they've actually managed to gain themselves some items. There's the Maelstrom on Viper to deal with the PL illusions. Maelstrom on the Vengeful Spirit. Vlad's on the Undying, and you've still got the Blink Necro 3 over on your Beastmaster. So it's not all doom and gloom here for PD. They've got good net worth heroes. They're not massively far behind. What's the actual lead? Yeah, it's gone from a 15,000 net worth lead to a 10,000 lead. The experience lead is nothing. HR have actually lost the massive advantage they had over PD.
For sure, PD have been doing. They've seen a lot more collected in the past 10 minutes. I think if PD itemize so that they can kill the PL somehow cleanly, the Tiny, are they gonna swap the vet? Oh, nice cancel and the relocate.
Look at the Whisper now. They blink forward looking for more. The Roar is still down, but Alpha Ninja is dead up at top. Is this a 3-2-2 from Hellraisers?
Yeah, I was saying that the Hellraisers has been kind of they're getting a bit too excited with how
Radiant structures
how easy the early
fortified.
mid game was, and they've been really sloppy. Starting with that Roche, they've seemed to lose a bit of confidence.
Up at top, but Jackal TPs himself away. Witch Doctor ulti over onto Vanscore. It's not going to be enough damage as he just TPs himself away. And now, Undying had 3,000 gold. And the point that we've both been making is that getting across the map, actually dealing with the PL, dealing not just with the hero itself, but the split push aspect and all of these lanes getting into your base. Now with BOTs on Beastmaster and the Undying, anyone else? No, it's just those two. But you've got the mobility you need now to have a hero that is not necessarily a high impact hero you need. To go to a lane, potentially he could die. It doesn't matter massively if he dies, but then he still has the opportunity to move across the map. And now look at this, the hunting Shachlo. He can blink away, but it's too late. The jump forward from Sunlight, the Roar is there as well. And ProDota, I honestly think this is their game to lose now.
I might have to eat my words. 10 minutes ago, I was saying it's going to look almost impossible for ProDota to pull it together.
I'll alleviate your pain. I said 5 minutes in, this game is over unless HR makes some massive fuck-ups. And they haven't made any they've not made massive mistakes, right? It's just been lots and lots and lots of little mistakes. But ProDota have been playing very well. They've been reading everything Hellraisers are doing and reacting accordingly. It all started with that bottom dive, where Phantom Lancer dived tier 2, and PD TP'd 3 heroes in to react to that.
We almost have a completed Mjolnir on Viper, so very nice. Oh, PL. He swapped. He ran into the Viper with his blink dagger. So I think one of the scenarios where PD can get a win is that they burst on the PL. Now that the Beastmaster has a blink dagger, if before PL can reach a point where there's like 10 illusions and it's really hard for PD to tell which one is a real one. They could potentially like swap into Roar, or later on someone gets a Hex, isolate that PL and kill him. And without the PL, there's no one that problematic on Hellraisers for ProDota. PL is the only one that's tricky. Like, it's hard to kill PL, but it's not as if PL is that super strong kind of carry that's going to wipe your team in a matter of a second.
Yeah, there's no instant kill potential here from Hellraisers. It's like sustained damage over time, which is why I'm starting to wonder if they group up as 5 in one lane. If they group up as like 4 in one lane and just hard push in, like top lane. It looks like that's what they're going to start doing, and then have one hero bot lane to try and get the trade. If you split ProDota across 2 lanes, then maybe you can make this work. Jackal. A lot of trouble here. It looks like he's going to die unless the Grave comes out in time. He can't swap himself out of these illusions. Mech out from Sunlight keeps him alive a little bit longer. They clear through them all. And now the Raw back. Shachlo's dead. Undershock is trapped here as well, with the Maelstrom procking back and forth. Tiny kills Undying up at top. But can they get anything out of this? Because ProDota will react. They'll come back to top. They'll defend their racks.
Yeah, again, we see an overextension from Hellraisers and a nice reaction by ProDota. Without that mech, Venge might have died. We see what we talked about, PL not being that scary kind of carry, more like the annoying kind of carry. Once you're out of mana from all those like diffusal, the mana burn from the PL illusions, you don't take that much damage. So PL isn't quite there yet where he has like an Abyssal, Scotty, or Butterfly, and he can get into people's face and kill him himself. He's still keeping a safe distance, respecting the fact that if the real one ever gets caught out, he can get bursted down very easily.
2 Mjolnirs are ready now for ProDota. Vengeful Spirit just completes hers. The TP up to top. Sunlight doesn't have a blink anymore, and the Sprout is there. 4 heroes onto the Viper. Secure the kill onto Sunlight. And he gets put in his grave. Pretty devastating manner. Roshan's alive in 2 minutes time. I don't know, do Hellraisers want to wait for that?
Oh, Witch Doctor. I thought Venge might swap the Witch Doctor. Seeing as they saw the relocate already used. But it looks like Hellraisers are trying to force some kind of buyback from the Viper. They've been feeling that, this game might be much harder than they expected. But obviously, PD doesn't want to expend that Viper buyback. They need that every little bit going into the late game.
What does Jackal start thinking of next? Because we don't even have BKBs up on PD yet.
Well, to be honest, I don't think BKBs are that important this game, because most of the damage coming out from HR is physical damage. The avalanche toss is not nearly as strong as it was in the mid game.
I'm just thinking about like mana burn and like Orchid, stuff like that for the Venge. Like, we've seen Venge get very close to death. It's been like a Grave plus heroes focusing down illusions that save her. What would you go for? Like, I guess Butterfly would be a better option than a BKB then, because then you can evade the initial hits from Death Ward, you can evade the PL illusions, you evade Tiny, Furion. Yeah, if you got Butterfly on both of these heroes, that could be insane.
Yeah, or she could get a mobility item perhaps, because Venge is really strong right now. She does have more than 200 damage with really nice attack speed. Maybe like a Shadow Blade to catch out these Furions and Wisps playing very aggro.
Or an Aghanim Scepter on the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah. If you notice, the Viper got that Blink Dagger mostly so that he could play far away from his base and still dodge these Furion and relocate ganks. And maybe Venge might want to do the same thing where he gets like that Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger even, and feels more comfortable wandering out of his base. See, this is a 4th attempt at Roshan, I think.
This is the 4th one, yeah. This is the 4th one.
Should be an easy one for PD if they're so efficient at killing the rogue.
So let's go over them. The first Roshan was a level 1 Rosh by PD that they attempted and was stolen by Hellraisers, Aegis and Kill. Second Roshan, I can't remember who it went to.
It went to PD. They smoked between the tier 1 and tier 2 and went into Rosh. It was like a very short smoke, but they had to smoke just to be sure.
And then third Roshan was Hellraisers that started it, and PD went in and
yeah.
stole Aegis and Cheese.
The payback Rosh.
And this is the 4th one where PD go in and take it pretty simply. Well, let's balance things out. It's pretty even between the two teams. They go for a smoke outside of the Rosh pit. Shashlo is over in the Radiant jungle. YOLO Warrior, Butterfly up on the PL, and it looks like they're trying to hunt for someone up at top, but Nature's Prophet goes back to cliff jungling. And with the Wisp Tiny just hiding away a little bit further away from the base. There's nothing really that PD can find up here.
Yeah, it kind of looked weird that the Beastmaster and Viper were smoked, but they were taking baby steps, like as if they were kind of scared of running into HR. I think if Beastmaster kind of just walked in a straight line, he could have ran into someone. But obviously, from their perspective, they weren't all 5 smoked, so they had to respect the Furion and relocate TP, which can make a 1-on-3 into a 4-on-3. Oh, PL?
They've got the stun there.
I mean, he doesn't have any follow-up.
He just went for the YOLO Roar onto YOLO Warrior. Tron is now being burnt down a hell of a lot. Jackal gets that static charge up onto him, deal with those illusions. The relocate out will send Tiny and Wisp back up the top lane. But now you've got no Roar for, what, 50 seconds? Tron has to go back to heal. Venge has to go back to the fountain to deal with that as well. And Sunlight, what are you buying? Sells the mech, buys a Demon Edge. So the Butterfly on the Phantom Lancer they feel is a little bit too tricky to handle, so they want MKBs of their own.
Looks like Venge is still... Oh, he's going for the BKB.
Okay.
Yeah, he held on to almost 4k. Beastmaster is going for the Ags, which I'm not sure I quite agree with. I don't think he's been able to... I mean, it's not that his Beastmaster ult, the Primal Roar cast range is so short that he hasn't been able to find the kills, nor the cooldown. I think Hex would have been really nice because it's like a secondary source of stun, and as I mentioned earlier, swap into instant stuns is really nice. But we'll have to see.
I was kind of wondering if the Refresher would have been a good build. But then mana pool wise, maybe a little bit iffy.
Yeah, he doesn't need... Yeah, he doesn't need... Basically, he only needs... He's probably thinking, I just want to find a real PL and kill this guy, this pesky little guy.
Tiny. Four staffs up onto the high ground. The rest of HR, they're coming in pretty thick and fast. Shachlo up at top and dying, but is alone. The rest of the team are trying to get in here. They know where Hellraisers are, and they're all down towards his bottom rune spot. Vanscore knows where the Nature's Prophet is. And they're scouting him out with a Hawk. Shachlo, he's got the blink, but the tombstone's dropped. There comes the zombie hit. Shachlo's roared up. Again, a quick and easy kill onto the Nature's Prophet, but Tombstone and Roar both expended. And Tombstone is so great against PL illusions.
Well, Tombstone doesn't really matter because the PL, I think his illusions are really good. They're gonna kill the Tombstone in a matter of seconds.
I mean, like, zombies stack up pretty massively and cause chaos.
Well, that's true, but the zombies are attacking illusions, right?
Yeah.
But both teams are really patient right now. Maybe PD is slightly more patient. I feel like they are very collected. They're 2 racks down, 2 range racks, so maybe technically like 1 racks down, maybe, not even. And they seem to not mind the fact that they aren't able to reach HR's base. This has turned into some kind of weird game.
Do you
Oh, the
remember
MKB on the bottom. Witch Doctor was TPing, but Viper's MKB proc.
you remember the game
So
we
it's
cast the other day,
I'm sorry.
TNC against IG?
Yes.
This feels very, very similar.
It was the TNC versus IG game was sort of weird because IG couldn't quite push high ground, but TNC couldn't leave their base because the Night
Radiant's bottom
Stalker
tower
Ags
is
on
under
top of
attack.
Octarine Core made it impossible to go into, like, they had to travel blind. And eventually, I think IG sort of lost patience and threw away their lead.
There was another game the other day as well. I had a game with Blitz, I think, where we had a very similar situation as well, where one team just couldn't break high ground even though they had like a 20k net worth lead. There's a few of these games
Wasn't
happening.
that the game with the two NA teams?
It may have been.
Leviathan and U-Porn?
Yeah. I can't remember what heroes they had though.
They had like a Radiance Dragon Knight or something.
Oh,
didn't they?
you're right. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, Team YP had Radiance Dragon Knight, and they were doing very, very well. They won a couple of fights. They had a Gyrocopter who was pretty stacked. I can't remember what Leviathan had. Did they have the Pudge in that game? They may have
I
had.
don't think so. I
may-
think it was like there was a Sven. I'm not sure which hero was in which team, but like a Sven with Darkseer, Queen of Pain. Who was the other core for Dragon Knight? I think Gyro.
Gyro. It was Dragon Knight plus Gyro. There was a Sven plus Queen of Pain. It was a messy game all around, honestly. But yeah, it was a DK pretending to be an Alchemist, pretending to be a Naga. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the fact that Octarine Core gives you like I think it's like 17 seconds downtime, something like that, with the ultimate form on DK, it's pretty good. It's just not amazing.
Mere coin.
So slowly we're seeing the ProDota side being able to leave their base further and further, testing their boundaries. Like this Viper just farmed Radiance Ancients camps. This Viper is insanely strong, mind you. He has the MKB, which serves dual purpose against the MKB the Butterfly of PL, and cancel stuns. Especially complemented by the attack speed from Mjolnir. It's almost like a sure stun against TPs. And I'm not sure what Vanscore is going to use. He has 4.2k gold, and I think it's the... Never mind, he bought a Mystic Staff. So, probably Hex. Maybe Shivas, but probably Hex.
Interesting. He keeps saving up. Where does he get this money from? Well, I guess this is where he gets it from. But my AB dies now. The PL's damage output a little bit too big, and that's the first bit of action we've had in quite a while, honestly. Apart from that Witch Doctor death down in bottom lane. But yeah, Vanscore just keeps pushing and farming side lanes. The rest of his team's looking for fights actively. And he's just waiting in the trees, trying to counteract the push coming in from the PL. He's getting a lot of money from it. I mean, he got BOTs, then he's got into the Mystic Staff, like you said. When's the next Roshan, though? Find out in about a minute. Both teams are going to be really heavily contesting the old man in the Roche pit.
This Dazzle has been pretty quiet, but he actually built a Necro book and bought an Ogre Axe, so that's sort of weird. He bought the Necro and decided Necro 3 isn't going to be good, or the other way around where he bought the Ogre Axe and decided Necro book was going to be better. Nonetheless, I think it's... I'll have to see how he plays it out, because I don't quite see how Necro book is that necessary in this game.
I think they're looking at this as I'm starting to do. That if they can kill Hellraisers,
Bottom lane.
oh, they go in for this.
They're
Tron's
gonna
here, they're
kill the
BOTing onto the boar, and the tombstone's dropped. Godham is dead. They'll come in with a Phantom Lancer, but Avalanche pops his BKB. He's just being right-clicked down. The PL, not enough damage. Kills off the tombstone. The Death Ward is there, bouncing between them all. A good grave on the Tron. Vanscore dies to that PL, but YOLO Warrior,
Middle tower is
Ivan,
under attack.
Phantom Lancer, Doppelganger, blink forward. Sunlight still has his number though. Right-clicking him down with
they found
MKB
the
proc.
PL.
He's going to flutter himself away, and Sunlight can't keep track of him. 5 seconds until the blink is back up, and it looks like Ivan should be able to get himself into the trees and far enough to safety. And that Hawk is not being microed. It's not being sent down to scout him. The BOTs are on cooldown for 9 seconds. If that Hawk
Oh,
had
to
just
be-
moved to the south,
To be fair, look at Beastmaster's HP. He's kind of like
Back to
more
base.
worried about his life.
Back to base, back to base, back to base. Gotta back to fountain. Heal myself up. Come on. I mean, if Nature's Prophet TP's on him, he's dead. That's the scary thing.
But we saw in this last engagement, HR is still strong. Obviously, this game is not that one-sided. Or in fact, it's sort of leaning towards PD in terms of raw strength. And we
Radiant's
saw in that
bottom
last fight,
tower is under attack.
PL is going to feel he's going to respect
Radiant's
the
bottom
Viper.
tower has
Viper
fallen.
has an MKB. He has a Mjolnir. If Viper ever finds the real or realizes which one's the real PL, PL is going to get bursted down.
So the status quo has shifted quite heavily here.
Yeah, and Viper has a lot of gold. He's probably going to sell that power chest and maybe get a butterfly. I don't think there will be many MKBs on the side of HR.
Oh yeah, back to what I was sort of raising a point about was the Necro book on Dazzle.
Yeah.
It's I'm looking at this. Oh, actually, we'll have to come back in a second. Speaking of Dazzle, he's going to get jumped here by the time. Avalanche toss, Necro book's dropped. Viper wants to fight this guy. Throws the Viper strike onto Alpha Ninja, the Grave onto Dazzle himself, and in the back, Sunlight. Oh my god, the Roar is good, but Sunlight still going to get dropped here by the PL. And Hellraisers, they've got a big kill to their name. Viper and Dazzle both dead. They're not going to find anything else just yet. Look at where all their creep waves are. Pretty hard pushed out.
This is quite ironic that not Power Rangers, ProDota's waves are pushed out, considering the lineup of HR. But they do have their buybacks, both the buybacks on the Dazzle and the Viper.
There's the Dazzles and there's the Vipers. What, to try and defend these racks. Melee at the bottom. Yep, there's the Glyph. It's going to get dropped pretty damn quickly. Up at top, the same thing's going to happen with the PL and the Nature's Prophet, both up there. Alpha Ninja clears up the melee racks, but he's going to get dropped here, it looks like. Goddamn, he's not going to be able to relocate himself out of this one. Nah, the Wispy is pretty screwed as well. No blinks himself over the trees and far away. But that's 2 melee racks down. And PD, even with the buybacks, couldn't save their lanes.
Yeah, sad story for PD. I think they expected to. I mean, obviously they bought back because what's the point of buying back if you can't save the racks? But the damage from HR was too much, and Beastmaster, having used his ult earlier, even with the Ag Scepter, didn't quite have that roar in time to stop the Tiny from sieging his base. And Roche is up though, so that's something that PD can feel like they can get out of this buyback.
Phantom Lancer, relocating. They're all jumping onto this Beastmaster up at top, and it looks like he's pretty screwed until the cheese is eaten. Goddamn. Alright, picked down by Sunlight, but Sunlight, your BKB, sure, it's going to keep you alive for now. There's actually no one near him. The Raw pushes them all away, and he's got a couple of kills. Vengeful Spirit, in the meantime, was soloing Roshan, apparently, over in the pit. Gets the Aegis. Cheese is there. Goddamn, blinks himself away from that swap into the pit. But I think they know that there's a cheese on the deck.
Yeah, I
Goddamn.
think Wisp is going to go in. Oh, it had to be the Wisp.
Yep.
Oh,
He kills the drums.
he's going to blink in on that?
Oh, they're TPing. TPing the PL, blink forward. Goddamn wants to go in on this, but
He saw it.
they're going to kill him. He can't blink
mean,
away. He can tether. That hit.
Wow.
That corrosive skin. All of that damage. He still had the cheese available, though, and they turn back. Oh, Sunlight. Sunlight. Sunlight.
Not back.
He's going to die. Unless the Grave keeps him alive long enough. Phantom Lancer realizes there's too many people behind the Viper for PD. Viper will survive for now until maybe a relocate. Nature's Prophet TP, something along those lines. Top lane's pushing in very heavily. But maybe now I can ask the question about the Necro book on Dazzle. He's got Necro too. I kind of felt that it was like an all-in kind of thing where if we win a team fight, we push out of our base, we go and take a tier 3 Iraqs or something, force buybacks. It's just the added pressure onto buildings.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that if PD were able to wipe HR, they have enough damage. Inner Beast, Venjora, and Viper being so strong. I felt like the damage on towers wasn't a big deal. Rather just the catch potential. So maybe that Hex I was talking about, even though it's going to take a while on the Dazzle. But clearly he still sees the value of the Book 3, so I might have to, eat my words later on if they manage to win this off of Necro Book 3 on the Dazzle.
Defer to the Russians. That's what we've got to do.
Are they setting something up on mid, maybe?
PL has a Satanic, though.
Yeah.
Satanic
I think
Phantom Lancer.
the Satanic is,
Over
it's
Scotty.
usually not a common item on PL, but Dazzle,
Jackal.
maybe?
And the BKB's there, and the Maledict's not going to do too much. Where's the Death Ward, though? There's not anyone grouped up here from PD. Jackal tries to fight up against Goddamn. He's got the right-click attacks in, but Metrum has graved himself, gets cleaved through from Jackal, being hit down by the Tiny Aegis. He's popped over on the side. YOLO Warrior, the Phantom Lancer's dead! They've killed the PL, and now they're going to go look for more. They should be able to clean up this fight as PD take down another in the Witch Doctor. In the meantime, Shatchlow at bottom lane, split pushing down towards this lane, but there's nothing left to take. It's just shoving the creep wave in as far as you can.
Yeah, we see that the Undying have picked up the Shiva's card, and Beastmaster completed a refresher orb. So I'm thinking PD want to at least force buyback here.
Dire's middle tower.
Meanwhile, Furion's routing tier 3.
Radiant's
Alpha
middle
Ninja's
tower
taking down
has
Vanscore
fallen.
at bottom lane. They've come in, they've killed off the Undying. They're going to try and take down the tier 3. It's gone. The Treants have actually killed it off, and Alpha Ninja, he's looking for the racks over on the side. Yeah, they're chasing Shatchlow, but your buildings are being destroyed. The Nature's Prophet doesn't mean that much. They'll kill Goddamn with a Viper and they'll roll back, but it's Mega Creeps. ProDota have to deal with Mega Creeps from now on out, and Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer brought back.
Yeah, does this Benja? Yeah, Benja at least has buyback. Yeah, that's a buyback right away. Someone has to push out this mid wave, and the other people have to join with Boost of Travel. They have to go all in at this point, I think.
Oh, Vanscore, Shivers and Tombstone, just throw everything you can out onto the enemies here. Oh my goodness. I honestly haven't seen much from Shatchlow. Like, the first 10 minutes was him TPing, killing, destroying, owning lanes, and tipping the scales. For the past 35 minutes, he's just been doing his own thing. He's like, I'm pushing a lane, I'm farming, I'm cliff jungling, I'm pushing a lane, I'm farming, I'm cliff jungling. And then he sort of comes in with a Hex, and, you know, now he's TPing back up to top to do some damage to some tier 4 towns.
Isn't it backdoor protection? Nope. Well, I guess not. This is kind of weird because it
Look-
looks like there's no creeps.
No,
in
look.
Iron Space.
Dire's
Look near the
middle
fountain.
tower is under attack.
There are 2 Radiant Creeps killing the little buildings. I don't know how they got there. But there were
Oh,
there
they're
were
going for the throne.
there were Radiant
It's
Creeps in
gonna
there.
be base race, it's it.
I think Radiant have got this, honestly. Like, look at the Dire. They're doing some decent damage. The Glyph is there from the Radiant. Glyph is there from the Dire. Oh my god, this is going to be close, actually. The Death Ward is bouncing between them all. But look at this. The base is getting destroyed by the Radiant. Whew.
Radiant's ancient.
Hellraisers tie things up 1-1 in a 53-minute back-and-forth thriller up against ProDota.
I did not expect to see a 53-minute game after seeing that level 1 Roche go down and look at the lineups. It was an interesting game. Maybe a bit sloppy if I want to flame from both sides.
That's not flaming, that's just telling the truth. Like, I'll back you up. I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, but PD did have their chance to make a comeback. I think if with smarter itemizations and I mean, to be fair, they played pretty well after they lost 2 range racks. They played very patient, and HR kind of played into them. Like the Furion you were talking about recently, he was quiet because he got picked off so much and realized maybe he should take it easy and not be so confident in split pushing. But
Well-
yeah, I think so. We see the result that we predicted, but not in the same fashion that we foresaw.
Yeah, I really liked the Dire draft. It was very aggressive. Should have been a lot more aggressive early on. If the Dire had got that level on Roshan, I think that would have just set the game in, set the wheels in motion and allowed ProDota to just sort of run over HR a little bit. But I really need to go and pee. I really do after that almost hour-long game. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, guys, with game number 3 here. It will be random draft between Hellraisers and ProDota 2. Myself, Durka, joined by Heen. Let's go to a break.